300 kilometers an hour. The magic number for high-speed rail. In the Netherlands, there's only one route with that top speed, HSL-Zuid, connecting the Belgian border with Rotterdam and Amsterdam. Although Eurostar runs services through the Netherlands, the only way to travel locally at 300 kph is with Thalys, the French and Belgian-based TGV operator. And today we're going all out, with a ride in premium class, the highest class of service on Thalys. With larger seats, included meals, and an overall incredible atmosphere, premium class truly is premium. So without further ado, I welcome you to Rotterdam Centraal. This is the Thalys TGV. Hallo and welcome to Rotterdam Centraal, the heart of travel in Rotterdam and one of only 3 Dutch stations served by Eurostar and Thalys high-speed trains. The current station we see before us was built back in 2014, with construction starting almost a decade before that in 2007. The previous station was built back in 1957, consolidating the 4 stations serving Rotterdam into one central station. The station served until 2007, wherein it was closed and demolished to make way for the current station. The past station is still ever present in the current one, with the central station text and clock on the front facade saved from the original, continuing on the legacy of Rotterdam Centraal. The station itself is a real masterpiece. The front facade features a massive angular cantilever extending high above the station entrance as if pointing up high into the heavens. Stepping inside, the interior is just as stunning as the exterior, with a continuation of the sheer sense of scale seen outside. The high ceilings above reduce the usual claustrophobia of major stations, with glass walls on 3 sides for plenty of natural lighting. Rotterdam Centraal really is a work of art as much as it is a station, but as much as I'd love to stay and bask in the glory of the architecture, we have a train to catch. Heading over to the departure board, we can try to find our departure platform. Scanning through every row, train, destination, and service type, the realization that something is missing creeps in. From what I can see on the departure board, our train Thalys 9381 to Amsterdam Centraal is nowhere to be found, and with the scheduled departure time of 10:05 p.m, there isn't a lot of leeway to figure it out. Regardless of where our train would be come departure time, we still had to be in the station itself, so it's off to the gates to head into the main concourse. Scanning around the platforms, I couldn't quite figure out where we were supposed to be, but the NS website came to the rescue. Because NS displays all trains with track numbers on their website, I was able to look up our Thalys service to find that we would be departing from track 13 on the far side of the concourse. Track 13 showed no sign of a Thalys train, but with my faith in the newfound information, I headed up to track level. While we wait for our train, we can take a quick look at our route for today. Our journey begins heading northeast out of Rotterdam, transitioning onto the HSL-Zuid to the west of the station. We'll then head past Rotterdam Airport and Zoetermeer as we pick up speed through the Dutch countryside. Our train continues on, cruising past Leiden and into North Holland with speeds peaking at 300 kilometers an hour. We then slow for our only intermediate stop at Schiphol Airport before continuing on to Amsterdam Centraal. It's a quick ride through the heart of the Netherlands, covering a total of 43 miles over the course of around 39 minutes. Despite the late departure time, Rotterdam Centraal is still as lively as ever, with intercity and regional trains making their way in and out of the platforms. After the previous intercity direct train departed to Amsterdam Centraal, the trackside displays changed, but not to anything I had expected. Instead of displaying our Thalys service, the sign said Niet instappen or do not board, as if indicating that the next train was off limits. But with my ticket in hand, I knew I was in the right place. Soon enough, something sleek rounded the corners into Rotterdam Centraal. Arriving on track 13 was our Thalys TGV, operated by a PBA trainset. PBA stands for Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam, the 3 major cities served by this type of train. The PBA is in the same class of train as SNCF's TGV Réseau, with the key differences being the livery and interiors. Thalys also uses the newer PBKA sets, which adds Cologne or Köln in German to the list of cities served. Heading to the end of our train, we find the first class carriage and can climb aboard to find our seat. We barely have enough time to get seated before our train departs Rotterdam, marking the beginning of our high-speed ride up to Amsterdam. We're seated today in seat 41 in Coach 1. Seating in premium class is very comfortable, with around 5 inches between my knees and the seat in front, plus a bit of extra space beneath each seat to stretch out. Below each seat are footrests which extend down from the seat back. They're a nice addition, but I find that they're too high up for my liking. Each seat includes a rigid seat back pocket instead of the usual mesh ones. The tray table folds down from the seat back and is quite large, with more than enough space for a larger laptop or a full meal, one of which we'll see a little later in the journey. There's also a document clip that folds down to keep papers or books in place if you're trying to read. Seat adjustments are made incredibly easy, as each seat is motorized, the buttons for which are located beneath the aisle armrest. The lighting controls are also down here, with a machined aluminum button activating the reading light in the luggage racks above. Each seat includes a trash can off to the side, so there's no need to get up to dispose of your waste. I couldn't for the life of me find the outlets on this side of the train, and I'm not entirely sure if they even exist, but there are 2 outlets on the double side of the train which are located in between each seat. The seats themselves are certainly of a higher quality. There's plenty of cushioning on the back and bottom of each seat, and the headrests include large wings and comfortable pillows to make it easy to rest one's head. As we make our way out of Rotterdam and through the Dutch landscape, let's take a quick look at some stats about our train. Taking us to Amsterdam today is Thalys number 9381 and is driven by Alstom TGV Réseau Trainset number 4535. Each TGV Réseau power car is driven by Alstom's 3-phase AC traction motors, producing 5,900 horsepower per car for a combined 11,800 horsepower per train. TGV Réseau trainsets are rated for a top speed of 320 km an hour or 199 miles per hour. These trains are regularly operated at those speeds, however our train will only reach a top speed of 300 km an hour, 186 miles an hour en route to Amsterdam. Each train set consists of a total of 10 cars, with 8 passenger cars and 2 power cars, with a total of 377 seats across 3 classes. Within those 377, 40 seats are reserved for premium class, 85 for comfort, with the remaining 252 designated as standard seats. If you're enjoying the video so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then check out the channel's Patreon. If you want your name in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos, then click the link in the top right or in the description below to learn more. The complimentary meal was served just as we left Rotterdam, which was excellent because I was getting hungry. To be honest, I was expecting more from what is referred to as a premium class, with only a small main, dessert, and drink offered on today's trip. The main dish was a cheese and veggie pizza roll with a chocolate tiramisu for dessert. For the drink, I chose a Coke for a little bit of caffeine, which came in 2 smaller cans. The main was okay, but the dessert was the real star of the show. The tiramisu was unbelievably rich and chocolatey, with robust coffee flavors, plus a hint of vanilla here and there. All of my gripes with the main dish were resolved by this dessert, and I really wish I could have gone back for seconds. Summers in the Netherlands mean early sunrises and late sunsets. Having departed just after 10 PM, the sun had sunk below the horizon, but not without painting the most gorgeous sunset across the sky. A combination of pinks, oranges, blues, and purples lit up the clouds in what has to be one of, if not the most beautiful sunset I have ever seen, made all the better by the comfort of our premium class seats. The speeds began to climb higher and higher the further from Rotterdam we rode, approaching 100, then 150, and eventually 160 miles an hour as we passed a southbound intercity direct service. The bathroom in premium class is located at the rear of our car, in the vestibule between the premium seating area and the 4-seat salon at the rear of the coach. Despite the door opening inward, which can make it difficult for passengers to enter, it's actually fairly spacious. Everything is very clean, with the classic ruby red covering the walls and fixtures. The sink is motion operated and works well, with plenty of soap and a motion activated hand dryer, all of which were spotless. Lights are integrated into the mirror, with a coat hook on the far wall. Overall, it's a very nice bathroom, and it really fits the premium class vibe. The speeds kept climbing as we made our way north, eventually peaking at that magic number of 300 kilometers an hour. Traveling at 186 miles an hour is really something else. It's a strange feeling to know that you're cruising at close to 200 miles an hour, seeing the world in moments instead of seconds as one would on a normal train. Our train soon dips down into the tunnels just east of Leiden, finishing out our top speed run in darkness. As we emerge back into the twilight, the gorgeous sunset has progressed into the latter stages of its life cycle. The pinks and purple of earlier have been exchanged for brighter oranges and yellows, the clouds almost red in contrast with the green fields below. With a few extra minutes on our hands before our arrival into Amsterdam, we can get up to head down to the bar car on today's train. Passing through the comfort coaches, we reach the cafe car. Although snacks and drinks are complimentary in premium class, it's still worth taking a look at what other options are available. The vast majority of the car is actually quite empty, with mostly open space surrounding the bar itself. There's a single standing table off to one side, with 4 tables a little further back. The Thalys Welcome Bar, as it's officially titled, offers a wide selection of hot and cold drinks, alcoholic beverages, and a selection of snacks and larger meal options for patrons to choose from. The traditional cafe experience is on its way out, however, as Thalys will be replacing it with an automated system in their new interiors. The Thalys Kiosk will feature multiple vending machines, including one for hot drinks, however it doesn't appear that the large meal items will be making a return. If the window views aren't enough entertainment, then Thalys offers onboard Wi-Fi for free to all passengers. Connecting to the network is easy and is done in only a few seconds. The network speeds are actually quite respectable, with an average of 1.89 megabits per second download speed, which certainly isn't enough to stream videos at 4K, but it will definitely work for lower quality streams in addition to any web browsing. Schiphol Airport is the only intermediate stop on today's route, and marks the beginning of the end of our journey. It's a quick stop here as there really isn't anyone getting on or off, with most passengers waiting for the final destination of Rotterdam Centraal. The tracks resurface on the outskirts of Amsterdam, following the intercity lines around the western edge of the city center. Pricing is always a big question on trips like these, and I have to say Thalys is very reasonable considering the quality of service. Our premium class ticket today cost me €34, which includes the larger seats and at-seat dining. Outside of the trains, premium tickets grant access to first-class lounges across the Thalys network and the ability to use Thalys' My Driver taxi service. Moving down the order, comfort tickets cost €27 and grant access to the larger seats but do not include the dining or other amenities of premium. Standard class is the bare minimum, but are by far the cheapest tickets, with prices around €21. Standard seats are operated in a 2x2 and do not afford any of the additional amenities of comfort or premium. The price difference of €13 is honestly worth it, and if you're able to access the lounges ahead of departure, then the value increases dramatically. Unfortunately, I was unable to get access to any of the lounges on today's trip because of how late we were departing, but it's nice to know that the option is there. The turns of the intercity lines guide us back east, wrapping around Amsterdam's north end and arriving into Amsterdam right on time. Our train comes to a stop and we can grab our belongings and disembark into Rotterdam Centraal. A journey like this wouldn't be complete without admiring our gorgeous TGV Réseau. Following in the footsteps of the TGV Sud-Est, the Réseau features a similar rectangular front end. This design has been associated with the TGV for generations and can now only be described as iconic. Unfortunately, the era of official Thalys services is coming to an end, as Eurostar and Thalys work to begin services under the newly formed Eurostar Group. Although the merger isn't set to be completed until 2024, the Thalys livery will live on, as the Eurostar Group has said they will maintain the color schemes for both the Eurostar and Thalys services moving forward. With our ride now over and the journey nearly complete, it's time to make our way downstairs where we'll end today's video. Next week we'll be back in New York City for a ride on Amtrak's Empire service. We'll start out at New York's Penn Station and head north up the Hudson River to Croton Harmon on one of the most beautiful routes in the Northeast. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you liked the video, drop it a like too. There's a lot more incredible content on the way, so stick around if you want to see more. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.